It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, the Koumei and the Five Fates update has had lots of changes to cover, and lots of new builds to make. And today, we've got a new build for Caliban, intended for Disruption missions and Void Cascade. I have used this for level 10,000 Void Cascade and level multiple thousand Disruption. And yeah, Caliban is definitely, he was already fine for those high level missions before, but now he's even better because of some unique things he can do with his abilities now. So let's get right into it. But before we do, make sure you sub this channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads, everything from build videos, discussion videos, and the like. You're in the right place for Warframe content. And yeah, I'm not joking when I call him a Lord Disruption. He is now extremely adept at destroying Demolists in Disruption missions, as you can see in this clip right here. So, the big change that Caliban got to his Disruption capabilities is that his second ability, Sentient Wrath, can now stun Demolists mid-air. That also means they'll be getting that damage vulnerability, and don't forget that Caliban already has an armor strip built into his kit as well, so it's just really, really good for Disruption, and you can basically take care of these Demolists like they're absolutely nothing, and they pretty much are absolutely nothing with a build like this. Okay, so we're also going to review like what got changed for everything besides the first ability. I still don't like the first ability. It takes away my guns, and I just don't like it at all. I know they buffed it a lot. We're not covering the first ability. We got a better first ability today called Nourish. Alright, so let's get into what we have change-wise and what you can expect build-wise from Caliban, because, yeah, just because he can stun some Demolists doesn't mean that's the entire rework. There's more to it. Alright, so we got we're in the sim right now with Caliban, and as far as what changed with him on the build we have right now, he can now choose between 3 different types of sentience. There's a gun sentient, a melee sentient, and a summoner sentient, and I'd recommend the summoner sentient out most of the time. It's just really good to have like a chill, like, aggro, polar enemy. The other ones are good too. They can give more status chance. He has this new type of status called Tau status, which makes enemies more vulnerable to all status types. So that can be pretty good. But yeah, the big thing here, you have multiple sentients to choose from. Now, the big one here is going to be for Sentient Wrath. That one can now, has no enemy limit. It used to have an enemy limit that scaled with strength. It now scales with the way it's supposed to. You don't have to worry about that. And also, it's going to be a sphere all around you. All enemies will become stunned. Now, as you can read in this description right here, he offers crowd control and survivability. This is not a DPS frame at all. This is a frame that you need to use good weapons on, and you will be rewarded if you use good weapons to kill high-level enemies easily. But yeah, his base damage and stuff is not going to get the job done. You might think 26,000 damage per second is pretty good. It is fine, but we're talking really, really high levels. That is basically just armor strip. So if you have 200% power strength, you will get a full defense reduction, so armor strip and shield strip from this one. And it's actually going to be permanent, too. You have an AoE area of armor strip in an area. So very good there. And also your minions will now cast a laser with you as well, which is kind of just fun. Now, showing how this works in practice, I'm going to turn off invincibility. So we will be getting attacked by these enemies. Let me get my minion out. So these minions will give you shield regen. The Somnolus is your buddy. The Somnolus is definitely my favorite sentient here. Let's just go ahead and unpause these guys, and let's see how this goes. So his shield regen is going to be pretty powerful. Now, as we see, we proc Arcane Aegis. Arcane Aegis is pretty OP. Kind of a little bit unfair, but yeah, we do have Arcane Aegis on here as well. They give extremely powerful shield gate. Yeah, the enemies didn't really get a chance to fight back, because as soon as I tried to shield gate with my 2, they're all stunned, they're all dead. And again, he does not really have the best enemy ad clear, so you don't want to have a weapon with like blast procs on it, or something like that, to get that stuff going on. So as you see right there, I get my shields broken, I rolling guard and push a ability button, and I shield gate, and since the sentients will give me my shields back, like they'll start regenerating them as the shield starts, I can go back to 3,000 shields very quickly with Caliban. Alright, so going ahead and showing all the builds and stuff, because again, like I said, you want to use good weapons on him probably. We've got the Archon Shards here and the ability Nourish from Grendel. Nourish from Grendel is super perfect for him because his minions will get hit by Nourish, and they will be actually having the viral retaliation attack in an AoE. So with our amount of range right now, the explosion rate is at 21 meters. So every time one of our sentients gets shot, a 21-meter viral AoE that is a guaranteed viral proc as well. That's really good because we have lots of sentients too. But yeah, as far as the shards, casting speed shards for the laser going faster, and also just sentient wrath, everything just going faster. You kind of want that. Power strength, we want to get to 200% power strength, but it's not too bad if we go over 200% power strength because our damage vulnerability from sentient wrath will go up, and also our viral damage from Nourish will go up too. Not to mention that the other ability scale with strength even further too. But yeah, 200% is an amount you do want to hit, but going above that's not a bad thing. So we got 2 power strength shards, could be replaced for other things you want to. And then one equilibrium purple shard. He is a little bit energy hungry. His abilities, he's got 100 energy fusion strike, a 50 energy Lethal Progeny, and a 50 energy Sentient Wrath, which this is what you'll be using the Shield Gate, too. So you want to have 50 energy at all times. Not to mention Nourish is also 50 energy. So pretty annoying energy cost, because like if you're in Disruption, you're moving from one place, so you're not just camping. Fusion Strike the Demolist, Sentient Wrath the Demolist, 150 energy combo, move to the next area. It could be helpful. You don't need this, because I've got Energy Nexus on the build too, but you might want to try this. Now, as far as the exact mods on the Caliban build, we've got a little bit of everything, honestly. We've got Duration to make the Nourish last long, because low duration Nourish is very annoying. Not to mention it makes the stun from Sentient Wrath last longer, and the Sentient Minions last longer too. These Sentient Minions need to be out, or you will die. They are basically your survivability, and they are also an aggro generator too. They will make enemies shoot them instead of you, and then you'll get those viral procs. It'll be very nice for you. Additionally, Duration on the 4th ability is going to make the AoE that lingers last longer, which is pretty good. But yeah, you do want to hit 200% strength. We have Volt Augmented for that. Primary Direction is going to make it where his base Shield Gate is good, but keep in mind that you will be having a constant flow of shields from your Sentience, so just basically a good mod to have on him in general. Brief Respite and Augur Reach, you just need to have one or the other, but I've got both on here for right now, because what you want to do is you want to have one of these types of shield regen mods when you cast an ability, because that will kickstart your shields. These Sentients will not give you shields until your shields have started, so you need to have some amount of shields from either Augur Reach, Brief Respite, or whatever you end up using, because that's a very important part of his kit. They still kept it where he has to have shields to start regenning. Prime Flow, because we have these really high energy cost abilities. We took this off. He does not have the most energy, unfortunately. He has 190. You could hardly even do your combo with that. So if you did your combo and then got shot again, you would just die. So don't do that. Make sure you run Prime Flow. Energy Nexus, we get 3 energy regen per second. I used to have, I was actually trying to decide what I wanted to do. I had Arcane Energize over Molt Augmented, but I didn't have enough power strength. So this is a fine way to get your energy regen going. 3 energy per second multiplied by Nourish. With this amount of strength, about 6 energy per second. When we're fully Molt Augmented, probably about like 7 or 8 energy per second. So not a ton of energy per second, but enough that we can actually get the job done with this. It's going to take us about 10 seconds to get enough energy for Sentient Wrath, which is not the best, but keep in mind, we do have an Equilibrium Shard too to get energy constantly from Health Orbs. Now, range is pretty good on him. We got Stretch and Augur Reach to make it where the AoE of his 4th ability is much larger. What's the radius on this? It's pretty good, honestly. It's a 3.5 meter explosion radius, and it says the range is 52.5. I'm not sure if that means the AoE size. I don't believe it is, but either way, that's good to have range on. The Sentient Wrath is good to have range on too, 43 meters on that one. And the range is also good for Nourish, making it where those viral procs are 21 meter radius, so the enemies will be getting viral proc constantly. I don't think range really matters on this at all, though. But yeah, it is pretty good for the other abilities. Rolling Guard, now, the thing is, if you are on fire, or you are slash proc, or whatever, you are probably going to die if you don't have a way to get rid of those status procs, like Rolling Guard. As I said, you cannot regen shields while you have no shield, and if you are slash proc, you will be constantly taking damage. You will not be able to regen your shields. So, Rolling Guard, extremely helpful here. You Rolling Guard, then you cast Sentient Wrath to Shield Gate, and you get your shields kick-started to go back to 3,000. And for the last mod, Umbral Intensify, giving us power strength for all abilities. All of his abilities like power strength. So if you're running Precision Intensify, it would only buff his 4, it would not buff Sentient Wrath. It would not buff his minions. It would not buff Nourish. You want to run a strength mod that can affect all abilities, as he likes to have strength on all abilities. So yeah, that in practice is a lot to talk about, but in actual mission it is super worth, because it is so powerful, and the rework was very, very good. I think Pablo did a great job, and I'm honestly waiting for Pablo to rework Oberon at this point now. So yeah, now let's go over some level 10,000 Void Cascade gameplay. Again, a lot of this footage I have is from before the Sicarus got bug fixed and patched. So, yeah, any Sicarus footage, any Sicarus damage you see in here is unintended damage. Just keep that in mind. But yeah, I'll show you the Slam Attack build here too. As you can see, a non-overguarded Thrax can be stunned by Sentient Wrath as well. Makes perfect sense. And yeah, as far as enemies that are annoying to Caliban, he really, really, really doesn't like Toxin procs. Since he is entirely shield focused, if there's a Toxic Ancient, you're just dead. Like, even like a level 50 Toxic Ancient, you're basically just dead. So be super aware that if you ever go to infest mission with this guy, you might want to consider a different frame choice. Because the Toxic procs go through his shields, and he is all shields, basically. This guy is all shields, so yeah. I'd recommend him in Disruption missions. I'd recommend him in Void Cascade. Very good armor strip and CC debuffs here. But yeah, don't expect his abilities to be doing the damage here. Like as you get a level 10,000 Thrax, I don't think his health bar even moved when I hit with the laser there. So yeah, don't expect damage from his abilities. Expect debuffs from his abilities, as stated in the description. Let's go over some extremely powerful weapon builds you can use with Caliban for killing max level enemies and Demolists too. Now, as far as the companion that you can use with Caliban, it does not matter which companion you use. I actually was going to use the Pharaoh-Predicite, but I don't think Anabolic Pollination works on the actual minions. So we'll have a Pharaoh-Predicite video out tomorrow. That thing is nasty strong, so yeah, you could bring that for sure. I got the Boar Prime Incarnon right now. Since he has no real good ad clear, I've got a Blast proc build on the Boar Prime with extremely high status chance we can explode enemies all over the place. The Riven is not needed. If you don't have the Riven, just put on Primed Chilling Grasp there, or like a 60-60 Cold Mod will work too. We basically just want to get blast damage on this thing, and we want to make sure the enemies explode. That's the idea here, honestly. So that's pretty good. We got the Dual Tox Incarnon, a great pistol for disruption. If you don't have a Riven, I'd say go get one, even though they're expensive. It's probably the best pistol in the game still. Now that the Sicarus got nerfed, this is definitely better than the Sicarus, but the Sicarus is like a little bit below this one. But yeah, if you don't have a Riven for it, you should get one, like I said. But there's other options too. And why do I have Corrosive on here? Even when an enemy is armor stripped with Corrosive, if they're the way the new damage system works, you'll still be doing good damage against them because Viral no longer has a bonus multiplier against unarmored targets. You still want Viral procs. That's what we got. That's what we have. Nourish. But yeah, Corrosive is still going to be one of the best mods in general. And I know the Dual Tox gets a built-in Toxin proc on Headshot, but we're not always hitting headshots, to be honest. But yeah, you'll be hitting headshots a lot because you have Sentient Wrath to make them a sitting duck. As far as our Incarnate perks of the Boar and the Dual Tox, we've got Right Feed Bane on the Boar, Ready Retaliation on the Boar, and Elemental Balance on the Boar, making those Blast procs very, very frequent. And for the Dual Tox, we got Fevered Frenzy, Marksman's Hand, and Commodore's Fortune. Like I said, I use the Sicarus with him a lot, and it's still great because he can make those easy headshots, but a lot of people can complain about the Sicarus. I don't know what you guys talk about sometimes. Call it mastery fodder. You're allowed to call it that, but you're also allowed to be wrong too. For the Magistar Normal, not the Magistar Prime, thanks for watching the whole video, we got the Edge of Justice Incarnon perk, the Seismic Slam Incarnon perk, and the Critical Parallel Incarnon perk. This one's going to be for AoE slams and big damage. Now, we don't have any slam mods on Caliban himself, so it won't be as much as a fully min-max slam build. But it still gets the job done at level 10,000, so who really cares? Now, if you've watched my previous Galvanized Magistar video, I had Killing Blow instead of Corrupt Charge. The reason I've got Killing Blow on, or I've got Corrupt Charge in here instead of Killing Blow, is that the combination of Galvanized Reflex, Corrupt Charge, and the Incarnon perk of the Magistar makes it where you have an infinite 8x, which also means basically infinite Incarnon. As you can see right here, when it's Incarnon form, 30 initial combo, and we throw on more initial combo, Perma 8x, enough to kill basically everything in the game. So you get Galvanized Reflex from the Arbiters of Hexus, Arbitrations, and get Galvanized Steel from the Arbitrations too, and you're good to go basically. Godroll Riven is very helpful, but if you don't have that, you know, you could run like an attack or a damage mod, I guess. I wouldn't really recommend not having a Riven for the Magistar. It's so strong. But I guess Glad or Might would work there, technically. It's just going to be a lot weaker. Now, showing all this stuff in practice, we got Matarai and last couple things. Count Mochi, the Adarza Kavat. Since we're relying on our weapons so much, this is going to buff our weapons up. We've got Tech Enhanced to make the crit buff from the Adarza last longer. It's a 60% crit chance buff. Pretty good. And we got Link Redirection. Since we're on a high shield frame, our cat has 2,500 shields, which means they have a very long shield gate. So we put on some shield regen so we can regen those shields faster. And yeah, this is basically buffer stuff. Since it has such high shields, we can run Reinforced Bond, and since it has high crit, we can run Tenacious Bond. This thing is not attacking, though, so don't worry about Assassin's Posture. We got Elusive Posture. You better not attack anything, because I know you're going to die right when you do it, even with this amazing shield regen. So yeah, this thing just basically stands there and just buffs you, and buffs your minions too. That can be kind of nice. But yeah, the Pharaoh-Predicite did not seem to work in my initial testing. Maybe they did a bug fix to make it work, but we'll see. I definitely don't think it does work. So this is in practice. Let's just go ahead and summon them in. Again, we don't really need to have invincibility turned on because we are Caliban. And if I actually play the game even remotely normally, there's enemies came and fight back. So yeah, just keep that in mind when you are running Caliban that, wow, he's stunning them immediately in the sim. What am I supposed to do? Like, that's what his abilities, that's how strong his abilities are. I could just stand there and let them shoot me, I guess, and see how that goes. I'll tell you what, right now, if I get an Aegis proc, it will be another thing where it's like, well, his ability is just too strong. I can't shield gate, I don't have a useless ability. I guess I can shield gate with Nourish. his abilities are so good that even if you try to shield with them, you're going to stun the entire area or armor strip the entire area too. So it's just really, really powerful and nice. As far as other little minions, I always stick with the Somnolus, but the other options are the Conculus. They're the old minions, the melee minions. They are okay. They're definitely not the best. The Ortholis are the new minions. One of the new minions you can summon. These guys have guns, and they can actually proc Tau enemies, making them very vulnerable to status procs. So we can see that in action real quick here. They also proc Viral too, which is pretty nice. So 10 Tau stacks. People take blast procs very, very aggressively. And yeah, the Blast Boar is actually pretty underrated, I'd say. But it's definitely meant for situations like this where the enemies are debuffed and they're like pretty close together. It is not really like a daily driver kind of weapon in my opinion. It's nice for things like this where it's like, okay, enemies are all, you know, next to each other, they're armor stripped and they're debuffed. Might as well blow them up. And of course, a lot of weapons could get that job done. But either way, video's gone on long enough. Hopefully you found this video fun, helpful. He's really good. He's really, really good. Again, a lot of my footage was with the glitched out Sicarus Prime before, so I had to salvage what I could here, guys. But yeah, see the Pharaoh Predicite video tomorrow. Actually, it might be Borrow tomorrow. Borrow or Pharaoh Predicite tomorrow, maybe both. And then another companion video on the next day, too. So appreciate all the support, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.